child, this might be the video that gets me canceled, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I see a lot of people talking about Ariana Grande, but I do not see enough people calling it out for what it is. The concern trolling surrounding Ariana Grande and her body, the conversation about her body, and the concern trolling needs to come to an end immediately. Let's wrap this up by the end of this business week, please and thank you. Aloha, beautiful humans. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome back if we've been locked in. My name is Sasha, and today this may be a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but we need to talk about the concern trolling of Ariana Grande because it is as if we have learned nothing from Chadwick Boseman. RIP to Chadwick Boseman, Wakanda forever. After he passed away, or shortly before he passed away, it came out that he was suffering from cancer. But before that, a lot of people were making very negative comments about his body, joking, having a good key, taking a couple of laughs at his expense. And after it was disclosed that he was suffering with cancer and passed away, the conversation immediately shifted. And all of a sudden, everybody is on mute when it comes to the jokes and have completely switched their tune to, oh, we need to be mindful of how we talk about people's bodies, da 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 da. You know, going forward, we need to make a change. That only happened a few years ago. It is as if people have developed collective amnesia over the conversation that was happening a few years ago, and now we are back to the same place. It's deja vu. Before we get into the video, trigger warning: if you are someone who is actively recovering from or are currently suffering and dealing with an eating disorder, there will be talks about eating disorder in this video. I will insert some photos of Ariana Grande, how she presently looks, because it helps shape the conversation. I am not going to be hypercritical or speak negatively of or towards her in this video. I just wanted to provide that trigger warning to be sensitive, because despite the way people are talking about eating disorders and Ariana Grande's alleged eating disorder and her body, a lot of people do not seem to understand that eating disorders are a mental health issue. Eating disorders are mental illness, and it is the most deadly mental illness to have. We are talking about someone whose health we do not know of, while there are people who are actively suffering with what you are alleging this woman has, and they are seeing your videos. They are dealing with this mental illness. They are living with this mental illness. They are suffering with this mental illness that has the highest rates of mortality. And this is how people are coming online and talking about this mental illness. It is really disgusting. And so I just want to provide a trigger warning to people to be sensitive of anyone who is actively dealing with that or is actively in the recovery process. You sincerely have my thoughts, have my prayers. It's just something terrible to deal with. And that is in part, that reality is in part why I'm making this video, because while people are hyper focusing on Ariana Grande, it seems that people do not understand that there are people who are actively living with eating disorders and that they are part of the problem. They are raging hypocrites, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Before we get too deep into the video though, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. What are you waiting for? Don't forget to hype the video. It helps smaller channels grow like mine. It pushes our videos out into the algorithm. And if you want exclusive content to suggest video ideas and other perks, definitely join the membership. All right, so let's get into the video. The conversation surrounding Ariana Grande has been sparked by her going on her most recent tour. I mean, the conversations did start over her Wicked tour, specifically Wicked for Good, the second Wicked movie. A lot of people were making comments about her appearance, her and Cynthia Erivo's appearance, and it was not in a way that was positive. It was very negative. For those people who have more intelligence, or for those who are able to be more manipulative and cunning with their verbiage and how they talked about her, they, however, came to it from a perspective of concern. And the reason why I call it concern trolling is because A, it is hypocritical, but also, like I said earlier, having an eating disorder, specifically the eating disorder people are trying to accuse her of and put on her. One day it is bulimia, the next day it is anorexia nervosa. So every other day it's changing. People are just throwing out diagnoses here and there. But regardless of whatever particular eating disorder she is allegedly suffering from, according to several people who have made it their point to talk about her body, it is a mental illness. Yes, we are coming to a place as a society where we are able to have better conversations, more productive conversations. We have the language, we have the verbiage. It seems like more people are wanting and are willing to give space to and educate themselves about mental health issues, mental illnesses. Therapy is on the rise along with therapy speak. Yes, we are living in a society that has created space to have these conversations, created space for this language. However, it is being also done in a way where now that therapy speak is being weaponized. This knowledge of mental health disorders and mental illnesses, they are being weaponized, and people are hiding behind these diagnoses and this verbiage to attack people, to be negative to them, to be judgmental towards them, to punch down on them under the guise of care. And that's why I call it concern trolling. Just think about this for a second. If Ariana Grande was actively suffering with an eating disorder, which is a mental illness, how would it benefit her? How would it help her recovery to have hundreds of people online making negative videos about her? And in those hundreds, if not thousands of videos at this point, in those thousands of videos, you have thousands to millions of comments from people talking negatively about your appearance, breaking you down. At the same time, this is happening. It is from people who all of a sudden seem to care about you, the same people who have been dragging you for 3 business years over your relationship, calling you a home wrecker, calling you everything but a child of God. You want me to believe that the people who have been dragging Ariana Grande for the past 3 years all of a sudden care about her health and wellness? Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. There is a difference between someone who is actively talking about this because they have experienced what they believe she is going through right now and are talking about it from their own lens. And then there are people who are just picking her apart. And I have more grace for the former and zero grace and patience for the latter, because it is clear that the former is coming from a place of wanting to educate others based on their experiences, but it is still speculating about someone's health that you do not know, because we cannot look at anybody and determine their health. Period. We are not Ariana Grande's doctor. We are not her physicians. Only she knows what she is going through and what she is suffering through. And I guarantee you, God forbid, I really hope this is not her portion, but if she comes out and says that she is dealing with something very tragic that is causing her to look that way, a lot of people would all of a sudden switch their tunes or quietly delete their video and keep it moving. And these are the people from the secondary camp that I'm talking about. People who are speaking about her in a negative way under the guise of concern trolling, who are very clearly doing it for likes, clicks, views, shares, and to punch down on Ariana Grande. And that's not what we're doing over here, okay? It's as if people forget that the internet is the internet may not be real life embodied. You can't see it, you can't hold it, you can't touch it. But the conversations that are actively happening online can and do impact people in the real world, because people are seeing your videos. There are people who are watching your videos who are actively suffering with a mental health issue that is anorexia nervosa, that is bulimia, that are other eating disorders, binge eating, other eating disorders. These are mental health issues. They are mental health disorders. And there are people actively in your real life who are actively watching and seeing what you're saying. So if you can hop online and say all of these things, then your words, your actions should measure up in real life. People are watching you. You have the power to influence. All of us have the power to influence. Influencers are not just people who get on the internet and post videos about clothes, lifestyle, fashion, politics, whatever, cooking, eating. Influencers aren't just the people who are posting these things and making money off of it and have a large following. Every single one of us is an influencer because we have the power to be influential in our lives. How are you talking to the young women? And this is not to say that anorexia nervosa, bulimia, and other eating disorders, this is not to say that they don't impact young men, but statistically speaking, they impact women more than they impact men. So what is the language you are using in real life? How are you actively supporting healthy habits in real life? It makes me think about Lori Harvey. A couple of years ago, people were looking at her and saying, oh my gosh, she looks good. She looks amazing. Girl, body T, body, everything. Yes. What is the secret? And she sat there and she told y'all what her secret was and how she achieved this body. And because it was something that is unattainable to the vast majority of people, it was a very strict diet as well as a strict workout schedule. I believe she said she was doing 2-a-days. I cannot recall exactly the specifics of her diet and meal plan, but it was something that was very restrictive. and that would naturally yield the results that a restrictive diet would get you, as well as youth. She is very young. Naturally, she does seem to be on the thinner side. Anyways, when she came out and shared all of this, you had people who were just in admiration of her a week ago, asking for the secrets, asking for the secret sauce. Give it to us, give it to us, give it to us. We want to know all the things. She gives it to you, and people turn around and they're hypocritical towards her, and they're just hyper negative towards her, saying, oh, you're pushing false standards of beauty. You're pushing dangerous ideas onto young women. You're pushing all of this. You're perpetuating all of this. Y'all just sat there and asked her for y'all to give you the tea to how she gets her body matcha. And she gave y'all the tea to the matcha, and now y'all are mad and you want to make bitter prune juice. What are we talking about here? We live in a culture that idolizes extreme thinness. And this is where the hypocrisy comes in behind the concern trolling of Ariana Grande. We are actively living in the Ozempic era. Extreme thinness is being pushed, and we are backsliding as a society to the cocaine chic era that I remember coming up as a young girl. I was always naturally on the thinner side. I mean, as I've grown, we've put on some weight. But if you look at pictures of me from 2000 to pretty much like 2015, 16, I was skinny, skinny, skinny. It was something that was natural. That was the body standard around the time, because I have heard so much from women who were young women at that time, girls at that time, who didn't fit this unrealistic body standard for many people. If it's not natural to you, it was a very concerted effort to put one very specific type of body type on a pedestal, and it was very harmful. I thought that we actively learned from that cocaine chic era of the early 2000s. Fast forward to 2024, we are in an era, in an Ozempic era, and now 2026, it's all back to toning. It's all back to skinny, not strong. It's so crazy to see. And I've actually been wanting to do a video on this for a while. As someone who is in the fitness industry, I remember a time where we were pushing strong, not skinny. It has been really trippy to me to see this push all of a sudden to going back to extreme thinness. I remember the tone it up days, when the bar days of 2014 to 2016, before that changed, but where everybody was talking about getting thin, getting lean, long, lean muscles, thin, thin, thin. That is back now. This is what is behind the Pilates boom. It's so crazy to me how so many people think they're above marketing, when the people who have all of a sudden expressed a strong interest in Pilates are the victims of this marketing. This is why I strongly encourage everybody to develop their media literacy, especially when it comes to social media, because we are actively, every single time we hop on media, on social media, we are actively being marketed to, whether we know it or not. This Pilates boom didn't come out of nowhere. It came as a direct result of this backsliding as a culture, backsliding as a society to thinness at all costs. There is no such thing as tone. There is no such thing as tone. Seeing that language come back into the cultural lexicon, but specifically in the fitness industry, it has been really crazy for me to see. I remember when CrossFit became huge, cross training became huge. Girls were in the gym lifting. Gymshark responded to that. Lululemon, the clothing, the way it was advertised, the body positivity movement was also happening in that era. We were talking about body positivity and health at every size, not necessarily saying you can be healthy at every size, but you can strive to be the healthiest you can be where you are. We were seeing a diversity in body types and shapes in marketing. And now all of a sudden, fast forward to the Ozempic era we are in now, the GLP-1 era we are in now, there are people, the marketing has completely shifted to Pilates, back to thinness, back to skinniness. And this is actively being marketed to people. This is actively being marketed to people, and people are running with that. This is not at all me knocking GLP-1s or anybody doing Pilates or anyone wanting to become more tone. Oh my God, I hate that word. I will not be using it for the rest of this video. And or the word lean. These are not things. These are not real words. They are not real things. And any fitness professional who is worth their salt will tell you that. But I'm not saying that we shouldn't have a desire to be in the best shape possible, but that's not what a lot of this marketing is pushed towards. These workouts are being pushed towards. These girlies that are giving you advice that a lot of y'all look up to, they are not pushing health. They are not pushing fitness. They are not pushing strength. They are not pushing cardiovascular health. All of the benefits that you would get from working out and building a consistent diet and workout routine, they are not talking about those benefits. They are exclusively speaking about it from the place of being skinny at all costs and just shrinking your mass, shrinking your body, and losing weight. And a lot of people who are actively talking negatively about Ariana Grande's body, I wouldn't hesitate to put money on the fact that some of those people themselves have actively bought into diet culture, are pursuing thinness themselves, and would, if they had the opportunity to change bodies with her, maybe they wouldn't change bodies with her as she appears to be today, but they would certainly put themselves in a body of a thinner person without thinking about it, because they know the social benefits that come with being thin. They understand that being thin is put up on a pedestal in our society. And a lot of people, I won't say each and every single one of us, but if you are actively living in America, you know what the body standard is. You know what the beauty standard is. You know what the body type is that is currently being put on a pedestal. And the diet industry in this country is not worth $135 billion for no reason. Let's be so serious. A lot of y'all are hypocrites. This is why the concern trolling of Ariana Grande falls completely flat to me. The diet culture and industry in the United States of America is $135 billion. Globally, it is $320 billion. So you mean to tell me in a country that the vast majority of that profit, of that share, of those expenses, we are contributing the most to diet culture and industry, but we had the most to say about Ariana Grande's body? Save it. Save it, save it, save it, save it. And if you do want to say something, be impactful in your own life to the young women around you who are watching you. When you go out to a restaurant, don't say nothing about calories. Don't be picky. Don't be talking about your body, because that's where it starts. A lot of people will probably be inclined to drop down in the comments and be like, oh, she's setting an example for young women. She's a celebrity, so she, enough, enough of that. You as an adult are responsible for how you allow yourself to be influenced. Yes, marketing is very powerful, but we also, at the end of the day, need to be responsible for understanding and being cognitively aware of how we are allowing ourselves to be influenced and the messages that we are taking in. You have agency. Just because you are watching somebody else doing something does not mean you get a pass to not think for yourself. It reminds me of my parents always saying, and I'm sure a lot of other people's parents said this too, oh, if Johnny jumped off a bridge, if everybody jumped off a bridge, would you do it? You know, you have to be responsible and accountable for yourself as an adult. And if your argument is she has young fans, you are the parents. You are the adults. No celebrity, no influencer, no social media personality should have the power to influence you more than you have the power to be influential in your own home. And you need to be mindful of what you are allowing your child and your young adults, children, to take in, because it starts at home. And before they even make it to being aware of who a celebrity is and them being their favorite celebrity and knowing all of their own songs, they exist in your household. You are probably upholding diet culture in many ways that you are not aware of, that will have more of an impact to the young women and girls in your household than will Ariana Grande or any extremely thin celebrity out there. Every single time we see a celebrity who is extremely thin, everybody wants to pop off about they're setting a bad example. You in your own home are very likely setting more of an example. Are you somebody who is very hypercritical of your own body? Are you somebody who has unhealthy ideas about what fat is? Are you somebody who engages in disordered eating, skipping meals, hopping on every single diet trend, hopping on every single workout trend? Those are the things that women are doing in their own homes. Women and men, let me not just say this because, again, eating disorders, while we frame them from something that only impact women, they are actively something that impact men as well. Mothers and fathers, adults, aunts, uncles, grandparents, all of the adults in children's life shape them and influence them more than celebrities, or before they are even aware of who celebrities are. You need to be impactful in your own life, and that being impactful, it starts with being mindful of the messages you are not only internalizing, but the way you are actively living out those messages, language you are using, how you talk about other people's bodies, how you talk about your own body, how you talk about your health, how you talk about your wellness. Kids are sponges. They are hearing all of this. They are seeing all of this, and they're developing very disordered eating habits, not because they're watching Ariana Grande, but because they see you, mom, they see you, dad, in your house, counting extreme calories, doing extreme fitness trends, doing extreme diet trends. Your children are watching you do that. That has nothing to do with Ariana Grande and everything to do with what you are doing and what you are not doing and what you are saying and what you are not saying in your household. So that's where you can be impactful. Instead of concern trolling Ariana Grande about a condition you know nothing about, but you are perceiving and alleging she has, Be impactful in your own ways. It starts at home. It starts with our language and it starts with our behavior. Who are you following on social media? Who are you reposting? Who are you talking about is your body goals or your fitness goals? All of that language contributes actively, negatively contributes to diet culture. It contributes to a culture in which thinness is put on a pedestal at all costs. We all play a role. Y'all are far too comfortable getting online, feigning concern and care to throw your opinion onto a trending topic, the topic du jour, someone's mental health disorder, but your concern and your care that you display online does not reflect in your real life behaviors. Because in real life, many of you are engaging in the same behaviors and have the same mentality. When it comes to putting thinness on a pedestal, when it comes to perpetuating and promoting unrealistic and very harmful behaviors as it pertains to one's body and dieting culture, disordered eating culture. A lot of y'all are perpetuating that and pushing it as wellness, as fitness, as health, while you are simultaneously getting on the internet to concern troll someone that a lot of y'all have been punching down on for the past 3 years. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. That is just the reality of the situation. The concern trolling, it falls very flat. At this point, and we are past this point, the concern trolling of Ariana Grande needs to end. And y'all need to, the way some of y'all are so vocal and verbal online is the same way you need to be vocal and verbal in your own real life and take accountability for the harmful diet culture attitudes and behaviors you may be perpetuating that has the possibility and the potential to impact the young girls and the young women in your life who are watching you. Ariana Grande is not going to see any of these videos. She ain't going to see your little opinion on the internet. But you know who is going to see your little opinion? Your friends who may be actively in the throes of an eating disorder. They are going to see your verbiage. They are going to see your language, and they are going to know that you are not a safe person. And they are also going to know you are a hypocrite because you are also likely engaging in behaviors that are perpetuating and promoting diet culture and extreme thinness at all costs. Your body is just very likely not reflecting the lifestyle that you are aspiring to, or the image that you are aspiring to. And that's no tea, that's no shade. GLP-1s are becoming a lot more accessible, but I called this a few years ago too, when they first came out and everybody had something negative to say. I was like, as soon as those become accessible to the average person, we will see the normalization of GLP-1s and we will see the criticism of it go down because a lot of people, again, who are criticizing, who are concerned trolling, it's not coming from a place of care. It is not coming from a place of concern. It is coming from a place of scarcity and insecurity that they are not able to access the same resources to chase and attain this body type. And as soon as they do, as soon as they are able to access these GLP-1s, these semaglutides that are make it so people are able to drop weight, they will immediately switch up their tune. And all of a sudden, it will become a conversation of how this can help you in other areas of life, how this shouldn't be demonized, how this is medicine, how this is groundbreaking for people, and it will change people's lives. And that's exactly what I have seen happen. And I wish I had made a video about this because I called, actually, no, I did. When Serena Williams started promoting Roe, a lot of people had very negative things to say about her. And I actually posted, yeah, okay, you know what? Yeah, go and watch that video because in that video, I distinctly said just what I said now. The minute this becomes accessible, and that was, how many months ago was that? Was it a year ago at this point? Yeah, I think it was almost a year ago that I made that video, especially on TikTok too. The minute it becomes accessible for the vast majority of people, we will see the entire conversation around GLP-1 shift, and that is exactly what has happened. The United States is not a $135 billion industry when it comes to diet culture for no reason. It's not just the celebrities that are buying up these GLP-1s. Y'all are buying them up too. It's not just the celebrities that are hopping on every single fitness trend, hopping on every single diet trend. Y'all are doing it too. So excuse me if I have no patience, no tolerance, and I see very clearly through the concern trolling of Ariana Grande. Save it. And if you honestly and genuinely do care, wisdom is sharing advice from the perspective of how it will best be received by the person you are sharing that advice with. Wisdom does not come from a place of trying to go viral. if a lot of y'all genuinely care about Ariana Grande, if those of y'all who are posting these videos saying you genuinely care about Ariana Grande are posting those videos because you genuinely care about what you think she is experiencing, you need to be mindful of your language. And you also need to be showing up in real life as an example that you are a safe person, that you are a safe space for anybody who may actively be dealing with mental health issues in the form of eating disorders. Getting online and punching down on Ariana Grande and her ponytail that is finally back. Listen, as soon as I saw that ponytail, I said, we got Blackiana Grande back, okay? Not Ariana Grande, Blackiana Grande, because I feel like Ariana Grande is at her best when she is cosplaying a black woman, when she is specifically cosplaying Victoria Monet. I saw her pull out that ponytail. That's the inspiration actually behind today's ponytail. I'm gonna take this down as soon as I stop recording this video because I'm about to get a headache. Ponytails give me a headache always. But anyways, as soon as I saw her put the ponytail back in, I said for this video, I gotta put in the ponytail, okay? I feel like Ariana Grande is at her best when she is just making vibey R&B music. Now, yes, did she steal Victoria Monet's whole swag? Absolutely. So I'm happy to see that Victoria Monet is getting her flowers. And hopefully, I know she recently talked about people really hating on her and no longer, being supportive of her now that she's made it. And it's just like typical. And this is why you do not seek validation externally. You have to seek it internally, because the same people who will build you up will be the first people in line, ready, willing, celebrating to tear you down. And that is just the reality of the situation. It's just life. So you have to be really intentional about building yourself up so other people won't be able to have the power to tear you down. But anyways, yeah, I saw Ariana Grande, and somebody might be watching this video like, clearly you're an Ariana Grande stan. No, I'm just somebody who appreciates good music and good vocals. I actually saw her in concert during her Sweetener tour a few years ago, and she kind of gives me Mariah Carey. I've seen Mariah Carey live too. Ariana Grande, she gonna give you some dancey dances, she gonna give you some choreography, but she's gonna mostly give you a cute set and vocals. And that's what I thought of when I saw Mariah Carey. I saw her in Vegas a few years ago for my friend's birthday, and Mariah Carey just came out there in her 4-inch stiletto heels, sometimes platforms, and she just stood there and sang, and the background dancers did all the work for her, and she was laying on a couch at one point. She did give us a little two-step, but for the most part, she stood there and she sang down boom. And when you are someone who has good vocals, you don't got to do too much. So Ariana Grande, she don't really do too much. We did get a few cute more dance steps from her, but she's also young. So it's like, girl, get in the booth, get in the field, and do your little thangy thing. So she did give us some dance moves, but for the most part, she gave us great vocals. It was a really good concert. I actually didn't have to pay anything for it. You know how at work, instead of giving you a raise or money, they give you perks? And I was one of those things where they were like, we're taking you to see Ariana Grande. And I was like, give me the money. Give me the money. Just give me my money. I was like, I don't want to see Ariana Grande. I don't care about this concert. I want money. But I'm actually happy that I did go to the concert because it was really fun. Because like I said, I really do enjoy her music. But if it came down to a concert or money, I was like, y'all better give me that money. But I did glad I get to go. It was a really good performance. It was a really good concert. Oh my goodness. I would definitely say top 10 of the concerts that I have been to. You know what? I might put her in top 5 for vocals alone because the mic was on. The mic was on. But yeah, so I was very excited to see her and her ponytail back on her tour. I don't know if I'm going to see her on this leg of her tour, but if she comes to the DC area and she still has some tickets available and they're a good price, I might go see her. But anyways, all this to say, I know some of y'all are probably watching this video like, oh, you're an Ariana Grande stan. Look at the ponytail. The ponytail is ponytailing. No, I'm not an Ariana Grande stan. I appreciate good vocalists. I appreciate good music. I wouldn't call myself a stan by any means. I'm just somebody who is very aware of, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I do think I have a great level of discernment and media literacy as well as emotional intelligence. And so me watching the videos people have been posting about her appearance, it is not the way anybody who actively cared about the mental health disorder and illness that is anorexia nervosa, that are eating disorders, if anybody genuinely cared about someone who was actively suffering with and from or actively recovering from these mental health issues and illnesses, that is not the way people would go about it. It is not smart. It is not kind. It is concern trolling, especially when there is so much negativity infused in the commentary about her body. And at the end of the day, We don't know what's going on with her. We do not know. So all of this speculation, it doesn't even serve anybody outside of the pursuit of being cruel, outside of the pursuit of talking down on someone or talking about someone's body in hopes of going viral, getting attention for it, and creating a space where people will also come through to talk negatively about her. Anybody with a shred of emotional intelligence who genuinely cared about Ariana Grande or anybody else experiencing these mental health issues would not be talking about it the way they're talking about it. And the people in your life are watching you. The people in your life who are dealing with eating disorders that a lot of people claim she allegedly has, they are watching you. They are listening to you, and some of them may have also picked up on the fact that you are a hypocrite because while you are tearing down someone for allegedly having an eating disorder, you yourself are engaging in and perpetuating disordered eating and other harmful behaviors that come with diet culture and now very harmful fitness culture under these trends of getting toned, getting skinny again, this amplification, this pedestalization of extreme thinness. You yourself are buying into that. You are a hypocrite because how dare you talk about Ariana Grande? How dare you talk about somebody's body, somebody that you allegedly believe has a mental health issue? How dare you talk about her body when you are actively pursuing the same thing, pursuing and participating in what you are castigating her for? Hypocrisy 101. Save the concern trolling. This will probably get me canceled. I know y'all will probably have a lot of opinions that disagree with me, and that is honestly okay. Like I always say, we can disagree, but y'all will be respectful, okay? I am not anybody's punching bag, so if you cannot speak with sense, if you cannot speak in a respectful manner, you will not speak at all. So watch your mouth. To those of y'all who can be respectful and who have sense, I really appreciate your feedback. Drop that in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the membership if you want some exclusive content. And until next time, peace out. Now let me take this ponytail out. I got Pilates in like 30 minutes. Ooh.